families. This is your principal, Ms. Culberson, and I appreciate you joining me today as I go over some information regarding our spring assessments for students. It is that time of the year. It is springtime, which means lots of activities and also assessments. Those end of the year assessments are around the corner, and I wanted to provide you with some information about our Georgia milestones, which is given to students in grades 3 through 5, and the MAP testing, which is conducted in grades 1 through 5. So thank you again for joining us for some very important information. I am going to share my slideshow with you. There we go. All right, so first of all, the topics that we will talk about today again are the Georgia milestones, an overview, our schedule for the milestones, retention rules for Georgia, some tips of ways that you can support your student. And then also we will be talking about the MAP assessment and the schedule for that, along with a link for you to provide some feedback as well. So first of all, let's talk about the Georgia milestones. That's coming sooner than the MAP testing. And the Georgia Milestones Assessment System is a comprehensive assessment system that spans in grades 3 all the way up through high school. The Georgia Milestones end of grade test will measure how well our students in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades have learned the knowledge and skills outlined in the state adopted content standards. That is in the areas of English language arts, math, and science in the 5th grade. So let's talk a little bit also about the kinds of items that students will see on the milestones. Now, do not stress, your students have been practicing in the classrooms with items that are very similar to these types of items. But sometimes parents will ask me, what kinds of questions are they going to have on the milestones? It's no longer as it was when perhaps you or I were in school. No longer is it just multiple choice only. There are a variety of items. Our students all take the milestones on their Chromebooks. So first of all, that is the difference in traditional old school testing, and now students log in with a password. They take the test online, and they will see these types of items that are listed on this slide. So there will be selected response items, and those are just your traditional multiple choice questions. So they'll have 4 items or 4 choices, and they will select the one that is correct. There are also constructed response items. Those ask a question and the students provide a response. They don't choose from multiple choice. They actually will type in their answer. There are extended constructed response items, and those are specific types of responses that require a longer, more detailed responses. There are extended writing response items. So this is a writing task, and it's part of ELA Section 1 on the milestones, and it is an essay type question that the students will type. And then finally, the last bullet is technology enhanced items. So these are kind of a different kind of question. They're multi-step responses with multiple selects or multiple part questions, drag and drop down menus. So those are just some kind of different formatted questions that may have one answer or multiple answers. And on the next slide, continued, a reported Lexile score will be taken with these assessments and communicated to you in all grades that take the ELA, which is 3rd through 5th. And then also the Georgia milestones will provide an estimated norm referenced performance range. So not only will you know if your child mastered the standards in their grade level, but you will see how they compare in a norm reference national rank, how that would translate. So let's talk a little bit about the length of time of the milestones. This year in ELA, they are only taking one section per day. And in math, it is the same. And then for science, they will take both sections. You can see on this slide the typical testing time and the maximum testing time, but as a rule of thumb, usually the students will finish the test in about an hour. I am attaching here, you see on this slide the dates of the milestones. So the first day of milestones is Monday, April 24th. So it's not right after spring break, but it will be coming up. And of course, we will continually communicate those dates to you. So on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, they will take parts 1, 2, and 3 of the ELA section. The following Monday, students will take Math Section 1. Then the Tuesday, they will take Section 2. They broke those sections up because they are a little bit longer. And then on Wednesday, students will take the Science. They take Sections 1 and 2, but that is really a shorter in length test. So they can do 2 sections in one day of that. And again, that is only 5th grade takes the science milestones. So often we're asked about retention, and last year the state did reinstate that retention rule. During COVID, there was some leniency, but as of last year, we had to, they reinstated that retention rule. And so that rule states that students in 3rd grade must pass in the area of reading. They must be reading on grade level. And in 5th grade, it is reading and math in order to be promoted. Now, if students encounter the milestones and they do not meet those criteria, we will be contacting you and scheduling a meeting, either in person or by phone, to talk about options that we have. We'll look at other sources of data to make the decision of whether to retain the student or to place them in the next grade. We will be looking at MAP scores. We will look at classroom performance. So it's not all based on that one test score, but the milestone score is very, very important, and especially in those benchmark grades of 3 and 5 in order to be promoted to the next grade. So parents will often ask, what are some tips for helping my student during testing? First of all, please know that our teachers do a wonderful job of preparing our students. They expose them to different types of questions. They have practiced, and your child will be very well prepared and familiar. But these are some things that you can do to help your student. First of all, ensure that your child gets plenty of rest during the testing week. I know there's a lot going on in spring, but it's very important that our students come to school well rested. So please implement an early bedtime. Take the technology, electronics away at bedtime. We have some students that stay up sometimes watching YouTube or playing games when you think they're asleep. So if you would, please collect those electronics just to help us, to help your child get plenty of rest. Also, make sure that your student eats a healthy breakfast on testing days. Remember, school breakfast is still free and it's available to every student for free in the morning. So, encourage your child to get a cafeteria breakfast, or you can give them a breakfast at home, but just make sure that they are rested and they have a good breakfast. Finally, make sure your student is present and punctual. We start the testing at 8 a.m. in the mornings. We have some students who have special accommodations and their test lasts longer. So we have to start right away in the mornings. Make sure that you are punctual to school. And also make sure to encourage your student. Remind them that this is a positive measure and they are able to show what they have learned. We give them positive encouragement every morning of testing, and every morning really in general. I try to encourage them on the announcements, but just give them that extra encouragement to do their best. Now, we do offer rewards each day. If a student is on time, works hard, and does their very best, we give them a reward every day. So make sure that your student earns that, and that's earned just by being here and doing their best. So now let's talk about the MAP assessments. And those assessments are given in grades 1 through 5. And our MAP assessments are the same assessments that your children have taken twice already this year. So, we had a MAP assessment at the beginning of the year just to give us a pre-assessment and measure your student. And then mid-year in December, we gave the test to see how much we had grown. And then we will finally, in May, after milestones is over, we will give the MAP testing. It's only a 2 days of testing to grades 1 through 5, and that way we can measure how much progress we've made for the whole year. So what is MAP growth and what does it measure? Well, MAP is unlike a traditional paper and pencil test where all the students are asked the same questions with the same amount of time. It isn't. MAP is a computer adaptive test. They take it on their Chromebooks, which means that as the student answers correctly, the questions get harder and harder. So the longer it takes them to take the test, that's an indication that they are just really doing a good job in the test. So let them know if they're worried about not finishing as early as the others. It's a sign that they are doing really well. So if the student answers incorrectly, the computer adapts by providing easier questions. And the purpose is to determine what a student knows and what he or she is ready to learn next. How often do they take it? Well, again, as I said, they take it 3 times a year in the fall, the winter, and the spring. The subjects, what subjects are tested? Students are tested in the areas of reading and math. And then finally, how can I help my child prepare? Well, just like any other school day, just make sure they're well rested and fed and encourage them to do their very best. So I have included on this slide the dates for our MAP testing this year. We will be giving our ELA or reading in grades 1 through 5 on May 10th and math on May 11th. Finally, this last slide is just a reminder. There is a link in the dojo message that I sent with this presentation. And also on this slide, there is a QR code, so you can use either one. Go to the link or use this QR code, and it will take you to a feedback survey. And that is how you document your attendance in watching this. And just know that if you complete that, your child will be entered in a drawing. Everybody wants to be entered in a drawing to win something, and they will win some type of school swag prize. So, but I just want to thank you so very much for joining this presentation. I want to thank you for the amazing students that you send us every day. We could not love our students more here at Chattanooga Valley, and we are grateful for you as their parents because you raise them and you just send us wonderful kids. So thank you again for joining me for this presentation, and we are going to have happy testing in the spring. Thank you.